General Ace Magashule says among other issues they had to look at was the inclusion of youth and a balanced women representation. Only 2 women made the list out of the 7 that we know of. For reaction on the story, let's be joined on the line by the ANC's Women League's Secretary General, Meokgo Matuba. Meokgo, thank you very much indeed for your time. I just want to get your first initial reaction to the announcement of the candidate list for the Premier.
In actual fact, we want to congratulate the 2 women who are being elected as premiers. However, we are disappointed as the ANC Women League because we believe that the ANC is an epitome of gender equality, and it should be a deliberate agenda for the ANC to have 50% parity, as it is being prescribed in the constitution of the ANC Rule 6, that in every position that we elect, we should have women at least 50% minimum.
According to the statement we received, the NEC further agreed that in provinces where premiers are men, then at least 60% of the provincial executive must be constituted by women. And it goes on to say there was consensus that in instances where the premier is a female, there shall be at least 50-50 representation in the provincial executive. Is this good enough, Meokgo?
It's not good enough. It is good, but it's not enough for women. We wanted to have fair representation in premiership, in ministers, in speakers, including in presidency. We wanted to have a fair representation. It should not be a by-the-way issue. It should be our agenda, all of us, not only women in the ANC, but it's a societal issue, whereby we make and have an agreement in terms of the convention that we'll have to push for gender parity.
You say it's not good enough. You're calling for fair representation. Why didn't you get it?
You are in a society, especially we as South Africans, not even around South Africa, in the world, where patriarchy still exists. People will not feel that women do have the same capacities as men. They will begin to say, you need to capacitate, you need to train. Whilst we feel as women, all of us have been trained. As women, all of us are capable to lead. All of us, we do have unique qualities of leadership. And for me, is that it is not enough. You can't say you want to train people whilst you train women in the country and leave men outside, thinking that men are capacitated enough and therefore they are entitled to lead. For us as the Women's League, as women in the country, we still feel that there's much that can be done to drive the gender agenda.
So, look, you've identified the problem. This problem has been around for a while, according to what I'm hearing from you. As the Women's League, what are you doing in this regard to change the mindset?
The first step will be to make men also to understand that it's not the agenda of women alone, it's our agenda. That is the first step, of which we have noticed some signs in the NEC of the ANC yesterday. And we are saying continuously, we'll continue to engage men, we'll continue to engage women, we'll continue to conscientize branches of the ANC to say to them, it is enough, it should be our agenda. The gender parity is not by the way issue, it's a constitutional imperative in terms of the African National Congress Constitution.
The statement released yesterday goes on to say that speakers in all provinces will be women, irrespective of whether the premier is male or female. What about the cabinet, Meokgo? Are you hopeful that for a more even split?
We are confident in the leadership of Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa. And we know that part of his agenda will be to help us to transform this aspect. And we know for the fact that we will consult with him whatever decision that applies at provincial level definitely it will also be applied at the national level, and therefore we are very positive as the Women's League. We know that the officials of the ANC understand very well this constitutional imperative, and also that we are a non-sexist organization. Hence, it's one of our principles as the African National Congress. And once it is in our constitution as a country, we know that the African National Congress leadership, especially the officials, will bear with us on this matter and will definitely implement the decision of the National Executive.
I want to get into the minds of the people that are making these decisions when they pick just 2 women out of the 7 premiers that they have announced so far. Help us understand the process, Meokgo, when they're picking the premiers. I understand each province throws up about 3 names and then the decision is made from there. But what's your understanding with regards to this process? Is it fair?
The process is fair. The ANC process, it's a fair process in terms of the Polokwane resolution. However, it gets abused in the process where you will see patriarchy at its best. It's not only in our home, but also within the structures of the ANC. It's a long way to go. Gender struggles are not yet uhuru. There's a long way to go, especially in our politics, especially in organizations that you see themselves as the epitome of gender equality. The struggle is far from being over.
All right, let's leave it there. ANC's Women's League Secretary General, Meokgo Matuba, thank you very much indeed for your time.